All right, can you state your name and also who do you represent?
Yeah, thank you. I'm Brenda Apples, and I am the founder and the president of the Crystal Lake Teen Center, but better known as The Break.
Well, Brenda, can you share the story behind the break and what first sparked the idea and what drives you to still continue that idea today?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So, The Break truly did start, the inception was in a car ride as I was picking up my youngest son, who was a sophomore at Crystal Lake South High School. When I picked him up, his friends would pile into the car and we would start to have conversations. Little by little, they started to tell me what they wanted to see in the community that was outside of school, outside of home. I was listening particularly intently at that time because for the past 2 years prior to that, we found ourselves in the world of substance use disorder with our oldest son. Trying to navigate that was something that we found very challenging because it wasn't something that was talked about a lot, especially where my kids grew up. So little by little, those conversations started to evolve into what kind of space they wanted it to be. One of the boys in particular kept bringing a different models. The Grays Lake had a teen center in that was called the Oasis, and that lasted for about 10 years, and it was still going when we started to the break, and that was a model that we looked at. Other than that, there really weren't a lot of models. We were able to go into Michigan. They had something called the neutral zone there that we took a look at. So in our conversations, I must have mentioned a not-for-profit and getting one at one point, and one of the teens kept getting in the car and asking me when we got it. So that it was very daunting because one of those conversations you have, but that spurred me in the direction of, okay, we're going to do this. Contacted people in the community that I knew that had done this before. Nancy Genzoriak specifically knew how to do this. She's a CPA specifically for not-for-profits. Gathered my friends from the PTO that I worked with when my kids were in school and my running club. And before I knew it, I had a 5-member board and our not-for-profit. Our not-for-profit didn't have a home at that time. So we were doing a fundraising for a concept, but we didn't have a space. We didn't have something to show. So with $5,000 in the bank and the help from community members in Crystal Lake, James Richter specifically was the community development manager, helped us find the space that we are currently in. It was affordable. And like I said, we had $5,000 in the bank, but our rent was only $1,000 a month at that time. So we opened the doors, very grassroots, completely volunteer run until 2016 when a group of funders came in and we were able to hire our first employee. It was a part-time employee. And then in 2020, when the world sort of came to a halt, we were able to get some funding through the Mental Health Board for a prevention specialist, but that was a very challenging time, needless to say. So we were kind of roller coastering where we were going to be with that. But by 2022, we were able to hire our first full-time employee. We have prevention specialists. We now have a recreation and outreach coordinator and other staff, part-time staff, which takes us up to 8 people. So in the last 2 years, we've grown and expanded very, very quickly. But that's the history of the break. And why do I feel that it's so important to continue? Because as we were talking to our teens even just today, or what I've seen the last 13 years, the need for connectedness, for the need for trust, the need to feel a sense of belonging and part of a community, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed about the adolescent brain or the human brain where we need those things. But times have changed, so we have to evolve with it. And who better to help lead us than our kids in their youth voice?
Well, first of all, that's simply amazing of what you do here at the break. And going off that, in one sentence that you can think of, how would you describe the break's mission to someone who has never heard of you guys or ever been here?
So I asked the kids that before we came in. And what was super interesting about their answers was actually the mission statement that we came up with at the beginning. The key words for them were safe. The key words for them were fun. And the key words for them were belonging. So it's a safe, stimulating environment for teens to connect, have fun, and find acceptance among peers, adults in the community, which 13 years later, when that was founded, obviously still holds true in 2025.
Phenomenal. And at the break, you have everything from a homework club to delicious bun smoothie nights. What's one program that you know always brings smiles that you have here at the break?
Okay. Smiles happen immediately. Number one, when they see somebody's interested that they walked into the door. Number two, if we have food. Number three, if Gremlin, the therapy dog, is here. Or if they walk in and they see their peers and they have a chance to hang out. We have opportunities and activities for them, but if they choose to hang out and do their own thing, and some of them will even hang with our staff. Our staff is fairly young. They are able to connect with them. That's where we see all the smiles, and they like their spontaneous activities. They like it. Like yesterday, they're kind of bored. It was hot outside. We had an outside activity planned. It's kind of humid. So I had an idea. We'll go get the kiddie pool at Jewel. Well, that spurred into, no, Brenda, they have a bigger pool. They have an even bigger one. And before I knew it, the kids were involved in dragging a pool over across the street to where the spigot was, and they filled up a big pool, and they played in this giant kiddie pool, throwing water back and forth to each other for about 3.5 hours. So I only bring that up because we need to encourage them and support them with some of their ideas. We had to problem solve a few things, like where was the water spigot? They kept worrying about being illegal. I'm like, it's not illegal, guys. I said, we can do it. But problem solving, how are we going to get the pool over there? Who's going to drain it? How are you going to do those things? They had to problem solve it, but we didn't want to tell them no. We wanted to make sure that their idea was supported.
Well, that sounds like a great time.
It was a great time.
And with the many kids that come through the years, has there been a success story of how the break changed any of their lives that you can come up in your mind, that you know right away of this person, I've changed their lives, and they show it every day?
So I'm very fortunate because I was on the ground floor of the break and still involved. So the kids who started as sophomores are now 26, 27 years old. So I've been able to watch them start families, get married, have careers, get through college. But I've also seen a couple have some setbacks that we've been able to support, which is why we expanded from high school into supporting young adults if they need some resource connection. So one story in particular, after the loss of a parent as a young adult, person found themselves homeless and ended up needing a lot of support. The break was able to support that person all the way through getting a job, getting a home, and actually still continuing to be involved at the break, and is now thriving and moving towards their 4-year degree in rehabilitative science. So that is that's a tangible, hey, we did the success story. But I pulled up something that I received actually last year from one of the very first members, and he sent me a message on Facebook. And it's long, but I think you'll find something in it. It said, "Oh my goodness, it's been too long since I've reached out. I wanted to apologize for that, but I do know that you have been in my thoughts this whole time regardless. A little bit while ago, I was reminiscing on older photos of all of us at the break. I find it hard to put into words how much of a great experience I and everyone else had there. Anyone who got the opportunity of visiting at least once can definitely agree that the break is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that can turn into as many experiences as one desires. The break did so many things for me. It shaped me and everyone else into much better people at heart, and it taught us not to be afraid. I found it liberating to be able to go somewhere and just be myself without fear of judgment. There really aren't enough places like that in our world, and especially in Crystal Lake. The break came at just the right place and the right time with the right people. I think everyone who got the experience of going can say it changed their life for the better in some way or another." Last part I'm going to read because it said, "It's crazy how quickly time goes, especially in the short period of time since I have visited. The environment and social aspect were also great as well. I met a ton of people there, including you, and I think that most of us agree that we have a great time when we visit. I'm left with nothing but smiles. And thank you for being there for me unconditionally, understanding and hearing me, but for giving me a healthy outlet to be myself." I'm going to halt there. There was another part I was trying to find, but that was a random message that I got from somebody who moved to Arizona that captured so much of the testimonies that I hear from the kids who've gone through the break, who have become young adults. And really our goal is to give them a childhood of happiness, which is another thing that our kids spoke to today, a childhood of happiness, foundations they can build on, and opportunities so that they can thrive. And that's essential, especially right now in what's going on in the world today and some of the challenges that I think our kids and young adults are facing.
And that's super inspiring. And, even to myself hearing that, it's phenomenal knowing what the break does for everyone. And with that, I know a lot of how the break runs is due to donations, due to donors, and helping out the community yourselves and giving back. With the Lake and Hills Rotary Club being a proud partner of the break and supporting you however we can, how has the Rotary helped you um, keep the mission going? And vice versa, how have you helped the Rotary also keep our mission going?
So that's an easy answer because you're standing right in front of me. So, Nikki, you've been amazing. You show up with opportunities for us through the Rotary, but also with all kinds of popcorn machines. And I'm trying to think of the machine you brought that we're able to make the 3D printer, all of those things, and some amazing volunteers that have come along with your support. Right now, we currently have a school teacher from Crystal Lake South that's volunteering, and that was through the connection for you guys. That has just been absolutely essential and phenomenal. I can't thank the Rotary enough, not just for the financial support that we've received and the volunteer opportunities and the opportunity for our kids to go out and be a part of the community and be proud, but just those relationships and showing up for our kids and showing them what it means to be a part of the community.
Well, we love to support in any way possible, of course, and always happy to provide a new opportunity for the kids.
And bring a popcorn machine.
Absolutely. Well, if someone wants to step up and volunteer, donate, or even become a member of the break, what is the easiest next step those people can take today?
So you can email me, brenda@clbreak.com. You can call or text 815-557-6734, which is my line, or 779-220-4080 is the break line. Our website is clbreak.com, and through there you can submit a form and we'll get back to you at any time. We are always looking for volunteers, not only to hang out and support the drop-in for the kids or some of the programs that we have for the kids, but also for event planning as board members, all of the outside things that go on in trying to make this place run and continue to be a staple in the community.
Well, and finally, one last question. Now, there's many people out there who believe in the mission, but maybe saying to themselves right now, oh, I would love to volunteer, but I don't got time, or I would love to volunteer, but I'm pretty sure there's other volunteers they could use. I don't need to do that. What is something that you would tell them today in response to those answers?
So time is the hottest commodity ever, but if you can keep us in mind at all times. So sometimes if you don't have the time to actually commit to coming in to drop-in hours, you may have a talent that you can offer us, which could be a social media talent, could be some admin extra support, or it could be that you know our mission and you share it with other people who could become connected with us. We would appreciate that at any time.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Brenda. And by the time this video is live, you're going to be out in the tents and helping us clean up RibFest. So I appreciate your help, and we will see you at RibFest.
Awesome. Thank you so much.